Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Summer Lunch and Learn series. Yes, it's still summer, even though it feels like a fall day today, right, Andy?
It's been really nice.
Yeah, I know. I like it. So for those of you that don't know me by now, we've been doing these since May, every Wednesday at 12 noon, and we're wrapping up in September. If you haven't seen that lineup of guests, oh my goodness, they're going to be great. So you may want to take a look. I have a flyer out there on all the social media channels so you can see who's coming up. Next week, it's Lori Genevish, and she's going to be talking about the next chapter. That means college. So she's a college planner. Then Debt Free Degree, Dr. Ross is the next Wednesday. Let me see if I can memorize them all. Then I have an IEP specialist who actually worked as an IST in public schools, Heather Wright. She will be talking about advocacy. And then my coach, because I will be celebrating a big birthday down in Florida, I won't be doing it. She's taken over. She'll be talking about executive functioning and ADHD hacks. And that one's one you definitely want to catch. So today, though, I have Andy Goldstrom. Welcome to the show, Andy.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Well, tell us a little bit about your business.
Yeah, sure. It was interesting hearing about all your upcoming guests. And the upcoming guests that you have are all experts who do valuable things. But the one connection or the commonality in what you shared is they all do things that help parents help their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And parent coaching is really helping parents help themselves.
Right.
And so it's different. The result is it's helping their kids, but you can't you can't help your kid unless you're in the right mindset, unless you have the right tools, unless
Right.
you're able to adapt to what's going on today in the world with your child. And so my business is called Parents Journey Coaching, and it's about um, helping parents make those adjustments so they can have more confidence and a framework to work with their children. And it could be anything from trouble in school to social anxiety to setting boundaries to just having parents connect better and be on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And I work with parents who, of kids from 8 to 30. Believe it or not, I've got adult children who are still struggling with their parents, or their parents are still struggling with their children. And they could be just proactive situations where they're trying to get their arms around things, which
Mm-hmm.
is good when it can be proactive, or it could be off the deep end where things are suicidal, or drug use, or jail, or
Right.
other things where it's a little bit tougher. But the parents then are in fight or flight mode and can even use some more help at those times. And so I've been working with parents for a number of years now, and I came out of the business world, and had a child who was struggling and didn't really know how to align with my wife to make it work. And so it was very difficult. When I hired a parent coach and engaged with a parent coach, it really changed the way we thought about parenting, changed the way that we lived and worked with our daughter. Our daughter is in her mid-20s now and doing well. And a lot of it has to do with the parent coaching and the way we changed the way we work. And it made me want to get into parent coaching to help others. And I got certified to be able to do that. And, the best thing is I get results.
Yes, that's awesome. Um, no one can say they can't learn some more things, right? There's no guide to being a parent, and every child is different. And I think you have to kind of alter it based on situation, personality, and I'm sure you have a lot of other tools that you use. But what
That's
does it
right.
really mean? What does it really mean to be a successful parent, and how has that definition evolved over time?
Right. So, you know, success can be defined in a lot of different ways, just in general, right? Do I, am I happy? Do I have a lot of money? Do I have a good family? Whatever it means. Being a successful parent takes it to a specific level, and it's really not about being the perfect model, having the perfect behavior, having an ideal schedule, or producing certain outcomes with your kids. So it's not something that's just you could read in a book or just figure out and do and understand. It's more about connection. So it's connecting with your kid, having confidence about that connection, and developing meaningful alignment with your values and your child's needs, and then supporting your child to do it. So
Mhm.
it's really parenting with clarity, having self-awareness and empathy. And you want to build hope and joy into your parenting through deliberate action and learning from experience. And so what I do in my practice is help with approaches, let people try and implement those approaches with their children, see how it works, make adjustments until it works, and then it sticks. And so, again, you could read a book, but the adjustments are what's important. And then over time, what happens is success comes. It's from, simply keeping everyone fed and safe to, nurturing more independence, emotional resilience, and mutual connection. And at the end of the day, all we want our kids to be is independent and happy, right? Those are the
That's
two
right.
things we want for our kids. And the best way to
Success
do
is
it
a
is,
different definition. You're right about that.
yeah, and the way to do that is to be connected with your kid, and
That's
and
true.
um, and being attuned to their needs, not passing judgment on to them. Um, and part of my approach really is about being demanding and having boundaries, but being attuned.
Mm-hmm. No, I couldn't have said that any better. Thank you, Andy. What are some practical ways parents can parent with purpose, especially during what I guess we can all call a little bit of a chaotic everyday life?
Yeah. you know putting what I just said into a framework. I give an example of kind of how I coach, and the way to be able to make those understanding and adjustments. So if you want to parent with purpose, you kind of need to um, understand what's happening
Hmm.
to your child, and you can look at the behavior, but you also have to look at kind of what's below the water line, underneath the iceberg. Why is stuff like this happening? You
Hmm.
have to have enough of a connection to jointly develop a plan with them, and then you have to be able to act with them to help them improve their own lives, and then make those adjustments with them. And so I call it a 4A framework. It's exactly what I just said. It's assessing, then addressing, then acting, then adjusting. And
Hmm.
so, if you are able to not just be so reactive to something, like your kid comes home with a bad grade, and you find out about it online, or they tell you,
Yeah, online.
a parent is often disappointed, but then will say, you know what, if you weren't on your phone so much, maybe you
Hmm.
would have gotten a better grade, or you're not, you're just not a good
You're on those
student. Why don't
video
you apply
games.
yourself? Right.
Yeah. Hmm.
But sometimes it's, you know, they had a bad social interaction at school. That specific subject is troubling to them. They have some study skills that they need to get better and supplement. So it's not like most kids are not, don't have failures at times because they don't want to be successful. It's because something else gets in the way. and you got to be able to understand that. And so this assess, address, act, and adjust cycle encourages intentionality, even amongst the chaos that you talked about. So it's observe, then plan, then try it, then revisit. And then additional practices are just building on past successes rather than overhauling it all at once. Set clear boundaries and expectations, and there's a whole methodology to how to do that. Strengthening by your communication by listening without judgment. And just talking about the whole thing with the grades. It's just an idea, if your child comes home or you find out that they got a bad grade, instead of admonishing them or judging them or giving them the silent treatment, it's better to say, I see that you didn't get a great grade on that test. How do you feel about that? Or are you okay? And they'll say, you know what, I'm frustrated, I'm disappointed, I'm mad, whatever. And then you acknowledge those feelings and say, I can see, I can see it in your face, and I can see that's bothering you. Is there something that got in the way, or something we could do different next time? And how can I support you? When you speak like that, you engage with them, and you're understanding them, and you're not judging them, and it changes the way you interact with your kid.
That's terrific. I mean, I could have said that again any better. Andy, you like reading my mind. I was just actually at a networking thing, and last week it was about boundaries. This week it's about harmony. And I think you're on the same track there.
Yeah. Well, boundaries are important, and expectations. I think I've shared with you before that authoritative parenting is the best type of parenting, and that's when parents are attuned and also demanding. And so people who do that can set boundaries, but also be connected to their kids. You don't want to be unattuned and demanding, because that's going to create chaos and resentment. You don't want to be undemanding and attuned, because that's permissive. And you don't want to be undemanding and unattuned, because that's uninvolved, and that's the worst thing you could be. So authoritative is the best, and that allows you to set those boundaries and expectations clearly. And I wasn't part of that session that you were part of, but I don't think the goal is harmony. I think the goal is not to have a harmonious family. I think it's to be transparent and understanding and supportive. Right. And sometimes you need to have tough conversations, and it's going to cause disharmony. But if it's handled in the right way, the discomfort is for growth. And you can't grow without some discomfort at times. If it's handled in the right way.
Yeah, this was a bunch of entrepreneurs, and we were talking about some other things, but I get that for sure. Definitely
in the context of which we're talking.
Right. So tell us about your coaching practice a little more. I know you mentioned it, but what's an engagement look like the way you help a parent, just to wrap this up?
Yeah. So I do parent coaching, where I build a custom roadmap for moms and or dads for their family. And I use a strength-based approach. It's different than therapy in that it's more of an action plan than a diagnosis. And I also do family coaching, where I bring the whole family together, including the children, to improve communication and resolve conflicts. I work on transition and aftercare if kids are actually going to different therapeutic programs or life transitions. And I also hold some workshops working with schools, wilderness therapy programs, retreats, and things like that. But for the typical client or prospective client, it's a parent who just is struggling with their kid, just like I was, many moons ago. You're just trying to have a better life for you and your kid. And it's, I begin with just a 30-minute discovery call to explore the fit and goals. If I'm a good fit, if I'm not a good fit, then that's fine. I only want to help people where I can really make a difference. And after they sign up, I give them intake paperwork, because a lot of parenting has to do with how that you were raised and the way you view the world. So my first coaching session is really a 90-minute deep dive with the parents about that. And things come out to set a roadmap.
It's a lot of generational things in there, right?
100%.
And belief systems.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife consistently reminds me of things that I do that are like my father. and I tell her, I am his son, right? And so,
yeah.
But I have to be aware of those things, and that's part of it. It's how you're aware of those and how that can become productive. And then sessions are usually weekly, virtual or in person, and usually building using that 4A model over several weeks. And my goal is to see measurable change within a few weeks and work myself out of a job. And one of the things I'm particularly good at is there aren't that many guys in this space. So when it comes to certainly working with moms, I do that fine and well. But if there is a dad or a co-parent or a single dad, or they have a boy, because I'm unique being a male in this space, I have ways to be able to connect better. And some dads just can't be vulnerable or change the way that they parent based upon who they are and just the testosterone and the way men are built and
the belief system out there about whatever they should have been. And
but I'm able to kind of help figure that out with people. And so I hope that people understand what successful parenting is all about. They can parent with purpose. They can leverage their personal experience and my understanding to help them. And if there's an opportunity to engage with Parents Journey Coaching, I'd love to have a conversation with you.
Terrific. You guys, it's right there. You want a free consultation with Andy? You go to www.parentsjourneycoaching.net. It will be out there where you can just click on the link. I'll put that on there as a live link. And I want to thank you, Andy, again. I know you've got a podcast coming out soon. We're working on those, and he's on my podcast show for season 4. I think it's 14. Yes. I can't believe I've been doing it.
That's a lot of seasons. Holy cow.
I know. It's like over 5 years now. And we're doing a different style. So it'll be a video and an audio. Can't wait to share that with y'all. I got the production guys getting them all done right now. Can't wait for those to start rolling out once a week next Tuesday, the 2nd. So look out for Smart Parents, Successful Students podcasts. And I'll get that to you, Andy, by the way. So thank you again for talking to us about parenting with purpose and how to truly succeed as a parent. There's no shame to this game, folks, and you should not be embarrassed about anything. You just need to look out there and get some help and ask around and see who's the best fit as a coach for you. Yes, our parents didn't have coaches, but there weren't many at that time. So I don't think there were maybe any. And they didn't have a guide either. So we know a whole lot more today, and kids all have there's a lot of different personalities out there. God sure did make us all different. So, we've got to kind of be aware of the different things that are available to us nowadays and kind of take advantage of that. So,
agreed.
Anyway, thank you very much again. And everyone, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and long weekend with the holiday, right? So enjoy with your families. Take care. Bye for now.